Okay, in order to use this tool, probably we're gonna need 4 things. The first one is gonna be a Bug.n, and we're gonna either download one of the releases, in this case the latest one being 9.2, or we're gonna use the Git to clone it and for building it later. In this case, I do prefer building it because it's gonna allow you to do more customization later on, right? The next thing that we're gonna do is get PowerShell and Scoop in order to get auto hotkey by using a package manager, which is probably the best option. Of course, you can skip this and just go to the auto hotkey page. If you decide to do this, what you're gonna do is gonna get the latest one, in this case the setup version, and I'm gonna show you how to install it. I'm not gonna install it till the end because I already have it installed, but I'm gonna modify it. I'm gonna select the 64 bits version for me, select where I want to install it, the options, and press install. In this case, no, because I already have it installed. And the next thing is we're gonna get PowerShell Core 6.2. In order to get a Scoop, you need at least PowerShell 5. But the good thing about PowerShell Core is that it's cross-platform. It's different from your native PowerShell, and you can install it without admin rights and in Mac OS or in old version of Windows or in Linux. Then we're gonna use this command in PowerShell Core or PowerShell 5 if you have Net Framework 4.5, and we're gonna run this command. Let me paste it. Oh no, it's in my clipboard history. So you selected, you paste it, and it's gonna install already installed. So I'm gonna add a bucket that is a list of the programs that you can install. I'm gonna add the bucket extras where AutoHotkey resides. I'm gonna search the available versions for AutoHotkey, and I'm gonna select the regular AutoHotkey, and boom, it's already installed. Super easy, super great. You can check in the GitHub page for a PowerShell Core the versions that you need for your operating system and the things that you need to build it. It's pretty easy to install, and you don't need admin rights. It's capable in Windows 7. So once we have all of this, we're gonna go we're gonna build AutoHotkey. So we're gonna go to the folder where we install the repository, and over here we're gonna double click or press enter on the build AutoHotkey, and it's gonna give us this exe file, which is the file that we're gonna execute. I did open another instance, right? And there you go. You already have the program. This bar at the bottom is not the default bar. For that, you're gonna go to Updata, Rooming, Bug.n, and there is gonna be a file called config.ini. That's the configuration file, is what you're gonna edit. In order to find where this file resides in your system, you're just gonna use cmd and cd into Updata and Bug.n, right? There it is. You're gonna use your editor and open it in order to configure it. Now, I'm gonna show you how to get a similar configuration and to explain how it works. I divided this in 3 parts. Settings, the window rules, and the hotkeys. Let's begin. In order to configure the settings from scratch, we're gonna copy one of the default configurations in the config.ini that we get by default. We open it by pressing Windows Ctrl-E. That is one of the default functions to open the editor. We copied this default configuration in the wiki, and we paste it and save the file. Now, I'm gonna modify this file by using my default editor. That's gonna be NeoVim. And okay, it's over here. We're ready. This monitor view and all of this, don't worry about it. I will explain later. We uncomment by deleting the semicolons. Now, you can hide or show the status bar by pressing Windows Shift plus a space, or by changing the value to 0. We saved and reload the file. Now it's not open. I press Windows Shift space. It's again. visible. We're going to change the size to 30%, and it's going to appear on the left side because that's the position that was configured. You can change it to the center or to the right side. Right now we can make the title appear in another row if you want to. If you select a smaller space, you can change the font size. There are two font sizes. One is the default, that is over here, and the other one is for bigger fonts. Next is the colors, but I'm explaining first the transparency. So values go from 0, being completely transparent, to 255. As you can see, if I change the value, for instance, to 150, it becomes more apparent. If I change it to 150, much more transparent. 50, it's really, really clear what's going on. Next, it's gonna be let's leave it at 200. Over here in the status bar, by pressing Windows and +Y, you're gonna see the functions that are written by default. Now I'm gonna show you all the widgets that are available for you to replace your status bar with information that's useful. So over here you can see the volume, the CPU, and other values in case you want to replace your taskbar. This is the time in milliseconds that you reload. Next are going to be these options, but are relevant for Windows 7 and Vista users, so don't worry too much about it. Next is by changing the value to 1, we make the taskbar visible. In my case, this is the layout I want. I want to see the taskbar at any moment, or just change it to 0 if you don't want to. I'm gonna hide all the information that is in the status bar because I use rain meter instead to get this information. So if I change this to 25% and put it in the tray, it will be apparent over here. It is there, but it's not visible because there's transparency. So I need to turn it off in order to appear over here. Now that color configuration is not to my liking. So I'm gonna go to one of the example configurations, and I'm gonna paste the values over here. It's documented what each one of these colors and positions separated by semicolons do. Now you can see that we changed the values, and the color is now transparent. There are several configurations that you can take inspiration from here in the wiki. Next, we're gonna explain how the Windows management and the layouts work. The status bar has 4 parts. I'm gonna explain 3. The first one is gonna be the tags. These numbers from 1 to 9 represent the workspaces and the marks that each of the windows will have, and will make them available or hidden. So we can change it to only 4 tags visible, and the reason we have 9 is because that's the available hotkeys that we could assign. Next, we're gonna see that there's this next part that is the current window configuration. Over there, you're gonna see the layout, and right now what we have is the tiling layout. If we change that to 1 with brackets, it shows all the windows that are in the monocle, and if this other symbol appears, it's the ones that are in floating. So the syntax is these represent the number of windows in monocle. If there is a number, multiplication sign, and another number, those are the X and Y axis. Next, we're gonna see that there's like a bar over there, or a slash, and that is going to represent the orientation of the master stack. You change it by employing Windows Control-T. Next is going to be the symbol for the stack or the slave windows, and depending on the symbol that appears over there, it's going to be vertical or horizontal, right? So that's the syntax for the Windows configuration. I'm gonna demonstrate, let me open a couple more windows to show you what that's gonna do. So now we have 2 vertical master windows. We can change that to only have 1. This is the stack of windows, and we can increase vertically or horizontally, and we can have as many as we want vertically or horizontally in the master position. We can also have several in the monocle position in the master zone. We can also change to have 6 monocles, for instance. In the case of the stack position, we can change the orientation to vertical and change the gap, move the windows, and we can also change the orientations to horizontal or vertical. And yeah, that's mostly what you can do. It's really, really diverse. Well, next is going to be the gap, right? So I can have 0 gap, no gap in that area. You can change this number in order to make it non-tile dynamically. So if I open a window, I need to select where it's going to go by pressing tab and the position selected by the alt plus a number, right? I sincerely don't know why would you want to do that, but there's the option to have it non-tiling. I'm going to change it to dynamic tiling. Next is going to be, where do you want to the new window to appear? So at the top of the stack, it's going to position the new window at the top of the screen in the stack area. So new windows will appear over there, and if I select it, they will disappear. If I select at the bottom, they will appear at the bottom of the stack over here. So as you can see, that's what happens. Next is the master bottom. If you have several windows in the master position, I can increase the y-axis, and now I can make that new windows that I open appear at the bottom of the master position, right? Well, the rest of the options, it's better to explain by window properties and the hotkeys. See you later.